Hi everyone. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. My name is Sushma Hegde and I'm a watercolor artist and I love painting wildflowers. I don't know, they just make me so happy. And guess what? Today I'm painting exactly that. So let me dive into the class and not talk too much. So first thing is we'll need watercolor paper. I've taken an A4 size sheet and I've folded into half so that I have it something like a greeting card here. So once we paint here, we have our own little greeting card. And I've taken some watercolors. I've poured them from the tubes into this palette. And I also have my brushes. I have two brushes here. One is a size 4 and another one is a size 8. And these are called Silver Black Velvet 3000S round brushes. And they're from the brand called Silver Brush Limited. So it doesn't matter which brand you use. Just make sure they are round brushes and they have a fine tip. What else? Yeah, we need a jar of water, of course. Clean water. And I've also taken some kitchen towel so that I can dab off some of the excess paint in my brush. So yeah, that's it. We'll get started. So one of my favorite wildflower is the poppy flower and we'll start by painting that. I'm taking my big brush here, the size 8 brush, and I have some red already in my palette. Let me mix a little bit more. I'm just taking some water in my brush and re-wetting this dried paint. Just adding it here. And I'll take a little bit of this new gamboge, this warmish yellow that I have, so that I get a little orangish tint to it. Let me mix that. And now I'm going to load my brush completely with the paint. So you can see I've dipped the entire brush here. And once that is done, I'm going to paint it here. So let's start from the left side because I'm right-handed. I might keep my hand on the paper like this. So I want to start from the left side so that if it's still not dry and if I paint it here first, then if I want to paint something here, I have to wait till this is fully dry. So we can save some time by starting from the left side. So I'll add my poppies here. Maybe I'll add one here down first. So as you can see, I'm holding my brush like this and I'm just completely pressing it to create a blob. And maybe one more here. I don't know what this shape is called. I don't know. I'm just making sure it's rounded here and it's a little tapering when it comes down. Yeah, that's enough. Let's do that again. Maybe I can add one here. So let me point it upwards or this way. Okay, let me keep it upwards. So I do the same thing. Just press my brush completely and we'll do that one more time. And that's it. So I can just make this tapering end here. Yeah, I'm going to wash my brush and I'll just lift a little bit of this so my brush is clean and I'm just wiping off some part of it on my kitchen towel. So again, my brush is clean. I'll just wash it a bit and I'm going to do the same thing here. So this way there's this transparency in the petal, at least in some regions. So it looks like this sunlight penetrating through some parts of it and some parts of it are still thick and dark because, you know, poppy petals are really delicate and thin, and we want to convey that in our painting. So let's keep it like this. Okay. Now as this is still wet, I'm going to take my smaller brush and I'm going to take some sepia and a little bit of green, taking some sap green. I'll add a tinge of that to the brown, and I'm taking very little in my brush, just the tip, and I'm going to add it here. I'll be careful not to add too much so that it doesn't spread throughout, and you can see it's already beautifully spreading through the watercolor. So you have to make sure that you do this when the red part is still wet. Only then it spreads so smoothly, otherwise it will just be stuck there. So you have to be quick with that. Okay, so that's done. We can add the stem now. So let me mix the green. So I'm taking some sap green. Yeah. And what I generally do is, so that I'm not confused which green to use with which thing, I just take whatever color I'm using for the flower. I just take a little bit of that and mix it with my green. And I feel that way it is more organic as well. And it blends smoothly with the flower. So I have my earthy green here now. And again, I've loaded my full brush with it. And very gently, I'm going to pull it down. When I'm pulling it down, I make sure it's a little curvy, because that's what these flowers are, right? They're swaying in the wind. So I'll bring it down. Okay. And let's do the same thing with this. And I want to add a few buds as well, because I think that adds so much character to these flowers. Those bendy stems and those buds. So I'll just add one here. Just a circular thing here. And then I'll bring it down. Down like that. Let's do that again. Maybe I can add one here, right? Maybe one here, or maybe pointing this way. No, I'll keep it this side and then one more this side. So again, like that. And then you can use a thinner brush here if you're more comfortable with that. And pull it down, twist it as you're pulling it down so that you have that curvy structure. And one more thing, remember when you're pulling it down, you're holding the wrist still. Like, I'm not moving my wrist, I'm just pulling it down with my wrist like that. So I'm moving only my shoulder when I do that. So let's try that. I'll add one more bud here. And let's bring it down. So you can see my wrist is still, it only moves like this, it doesn't move this way. And then bring it down. So that's it. To add the leaves, what I do is I hold my brush like this and just flick it upwards. They have these poppy flowers have these ruffled leaves. So I'm going to try that. Just flicking it up. Nothing too precise. We don't want it to be very accurate. We just want to give an essence of the plant, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it as loose as possible. So yeah, we're done with the poppy flowers. For the second set of flowers, I've mixed a little bit of ultramarine along with a little bit of quinacridone rose to give me this purplish mixture. You can also use pink or just blue. I'm just using this. It's totally okay to use any other color because wildflowers are also colorful, so it really doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking my small brush, my size 4 brush, and I'll just make gentle strokes. I don't want these flowers to be as big as this because I don't want to overcrowd my painting with a lot of big flowers, so I need to have that balance. So I'll make sure there are some small flowers and some big ones. So I'm just making these little strokes. As you can see, nothing specific, just like you paint leaves. I'm just pulling it down and making these flowers. So you can see I leave a lot of wide gaps in between, and that's important to give it a proper shape instead of making it look like a blob. I'm taking a little bit of this quin rose and I'm going to add it at the tips when it's still wet. You know, it gives that dual tone to it. Just at the tips. That's it. We can connect all of this together. So instead of taking the same green that we used earlier, I'm going to mix a little bit of the blue to it. So I'm taking ultramarine and my sap green, and I'm getting a cool green here. Yeah, just join them. Maybe just add these little green ends to the flowers. I'll just do that first. Yeah, just join them together. And now add a few leaves in between. See, I'm adding the leaves just like what I did with the flowers. Just a difference in color, that's it. And you have a leaf. Some like that. Bring it down. So when I'm painting the leaves, I'm just pressing it, and while bringing it down, up, I just twist it a bit. Wait, let me show that to you again. 1 second. So what I do is press it, turn it a bit, and then lift it. And make sure your leaves overlap with the stem, which makes it look more natural that way. And let's connect this and this. Yeah, once you get the hang of painting the leaves, you can get it to be more flowy, and you can add more movement to your painting. Okay, I forgot about this flower. Let's just add that. Okay. If my stem is a little crooked in some places, I just cover it up with a leaf, and that way it looks natural as well. Actually, I think I should have used a brush with a finer tip so that I could get better lines, but that's okay. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. As you can see, once I removed the tape, I just added a few splatters here, just taking my brush and just tapping it like that so that it covers this region, because I felt this side is a little empty and here as well. So I added some green splatters and some red ones here. And that's it, we have a card now. So I hope you enjoyed this mini tutorial and you learned something out of it. And if you try this, don't forget to share it on social media. And this is my Instagram handle, and you can tag me so that I can see it, and that makes me so happy. So I'll be waiting to see what you create, and I hope you're enjoying this whole event. I am totally enjoying it. So happy creating and happy learning.